I've been out of the dating game for a very long time. But when I was in it, I was good at it. But I felt a lot of pressure. I felt like I needed to find this partner and check off all these boxes immediately. I had this biological clock in the back of my head. I was thinking, you've got to find someone who wants to be a husband, who wants to be a father, who wants to be in that fairy tale with you. And as a Black woman, I didn't feel like I had a lot of choices. I felt like you either get the chance to have your professional life and be a wife and a mother, or you don't get that at all, and all you get is the job and the success. And I don't regret anything about what I did or how I did it, but I do realize now in retrospect that I did have choices. And even though I was being told that it was this or that, there's actually a lot of in between. And I could have just sort of fashioned it in sort of an a la carte version of what actually worked for me. The numbers don't lie. Most Black women are single. And the truth is, we need to open up our options. It's actually in our best interest. Options give us freedom. And what's better than a free Black woman? Welcome to Pregnant Pause. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Pregnant Pause podcast, the place for women at the intersection of motherhood and ambition. I'm your host, Danielle Cadet, and I am here with a very dear friend for an incredibly special conversation. Miss Eboni K. Williams is here at the podcast today. Sis, thank you for being here.
Danielle, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to have this convo with you, especially.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time we talk, we cut up. So I'm really
Yeah, we're gonna try to be on our best behavior.
We don't have to.
Yeah, that's why. Heavy on the wink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when on the Pregnant Pause podcast, I like to start episodes with a segment called Same Same. And it's sort of reflective of my very real-time motherhood journey where, like, you know how it is when you're meeting a new mom and you're like, what do we have in common?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
We have quite a bit in common.
We do.
We are sorors.
Hey, Skeevy.
Okay, so I love that. And I remember when we first chatted and we met when I interviewed you and wrote a profile on you for Scary Mommy.
Yes, which was amazing. Such amazing writing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Gosh, we could have been on. I could have talked to you for hours.
I think we did talk.
We
for
talked
hours,
for a long time.
actually.
We talked for a long time, and you had paraphernalia on that day, so I was like,
I did, and I
yes.
didn't even know you were a sword
yes,
at that point. It was
so it was
kismet.
like an immediate connection.
Yes.
We also are, we work in media. You are a television host. You are an author. You are also an attorney. So you understand, first of all, so many different walks of life, but certainly the media landscape.
Yeah, I do. So it's interesting. I was a comms major in college, and sometimes, shout out to all the comms majors.
Yes.
We tend to get a bad rap, Like,
Right,
what are you
'cause
going
it's
to
like,
do
what are you
with
gonna
that?
do? Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Hello, somebody. Everything.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So I really credit both my comms major and my Black Studies major. With kind of giving me the tools to synthesize, as I'm humbled to hear your introduction, but it allows me to navigate those pillars of the law.
That's right.
But also mass media, television, audio, podcast.
Right.
I actually started my broadcast career in talk radio, which a lot of people don't know.
Yes.
And then eventually, becoming a published author 2 times over. So
First of all, hats off to you for all of that, but also oddly enough, same, right? I was a journalism major and an AFAM studies double major.
Boom.
So that is
we did have that in common.
That's
yeah.
right.
People say, what are you going to do with the Black Studies major? Everything.
Everything. Particularly for what not only what we do, but what we cover, right?
And the spaces in which we do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. 100%. Mm-hmm. The other thing we have in common is we are girl moms.
Yes, we are.
So,
you 2 times over,
Two
child.
times over, girl. Send up a prayer for me.
Yes, I love it.
But yes, I think there is something really special about having a little girl. Mm-hmm. Your little girl, Liberty, is almost a year old.
She's almost a year in the game.
That is, how does it feel being almost a year in the game?
I think I'm going to let her stay.
I love that, right? It's like, you can stay.
Yeah.
You can stay.
Yeah, your performance period's up. The performance review, I think you're going to pass.
Right, I think we'll be okay.
No, I think I'm the one that she's probably like,
she's
get
like,
to stay.
Right, she's like, how you doing? How are you doing?
You go check me.
Right.
So no, it's been a joyous year. She's literally just brought more joy, Danielle, to my life. It has not been without surprise and challenge, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Of course.
But I'm here to say, the good news is that it was a beautiful year. It was a year of profound joy, and I just smiled more this year. What's this? As we record this, there's an Instagram social media trend. You look happier.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I look happier.
right.
I had this sweet little girl named Liberty.
I love that. Like I said, you and I have had this conversation, but for folks who don't know, you chose to have your daughter, Liberty, by yourself via IVF with donor sperm.
Yes, I did.
And we will include, like I said, we'll include the Scary Mommy the Scary Mommy story in the show notes.
Yes.
And so folks can read that. But I do want to talk a little bit about your story and your decision to become a mother. And I want to talk a little bit about titles, but we'll get into that. But let's start with your story. Let's start with your decision to have Liberty on your own.
I think decision is the right place to start, right? Because so much of this, and I say this with privilege, I want to state as many times as possible throughout this conversation, Danielle, where I'm standing in points of privilege.
Right.
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I think all of this becomes kind of disingenuous and kind of like non-relatable when we gloss over those parts.
That's right.
Right. So I was able to make a decision.
Right.
And I say that with great intensity and intentionality in the year 2025, right? Where all too many women are not able to make decisions about when and how and if they become mothers.
Right.
So I was able to make a decision that said I never really was somebody who aspired to motherhood. I think I want to start with that premise. I think what's the word? Kind of assumed I would be a wife at some point, and I was.
Right.
I was briefly married, literally a year and some change, in my late 20s, amicable divorce, nothing to see here, ladies, we'll move on. Wish that man well. And then decided I really, I was a pretty bad wife in the sense that, nothing salacious, I just was so focused on my dreams, my ambitions, my aspirations, and frankly, kind of my agenda, and I was immature enough and inexperienced enough to believe that loving me and being even, I guess, married to me even meant going along with that agenda. It meant if you love me enough, you're gonna kind of go my way, or more or less, here is the highway. And I say that in retrospect, having grown and learned so much about how horribly erroneous that method is and was. So when I came out of that divorce, I had a real clear intention, and this is what I always say to young ladies or people, period, that are kind of, is marriage for me. I say, I want you to think about if you were to go start a business tomorrow. Would you want to pursue your business in a joint venture format, right? Where you willingly and enthusiastically invite collaboration? Yes. Where from the logo to the tagline to the cadence of, when you distribute and how you distribute your product, and we're doing this together, and I like yellow and you like red, and what do we think? If you like that functioning, I think you could be maybe a good candidate for marriage. Sure. I'm dead serious. What you just left me? I'm dead serious.
That's real.
And
that's real. I love this.
There's something called solo proprietorship.
Right.
where the buck stops with you, but also the responsibility stops with you.
Yes.
The surplus, the debts, the liabilities, and the assets.
That's all on you.
It's all on you.
Right.
And it was so clear to me, especially coming out of my divorce, that I am a sole proprietor for life.
You said,
did we talk about this?
You
said
this to me. You were like, I don't like group projects.
I don't like group projects. I don't like business partners. I don't. It's not for my functioning. So my preferred way to navigate the world is in a solo capacity. So getting to your question, that was the driver for my decision. To so by the time a whole bunch of stuff happened, I had an engagement. I ended that during the pandemic. We all went through a global pandemic. Can we name that?
That.
And for us, because we're age peers as well, you come out more or less on the other side of that pandemic, and I'm 38, 39, quickly approaching 40.
Yes.
And I don't say 40 as a doomsday to anyone listening, but I do say it with kind of some pragmatism around biological impact of fertility.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm sure the physicians will address this better than I can. But I'd already been told, and also a point of privilege. I had a soror personally tell me her story of egg freezing when she was in her early 30s. We were colleagues at the time. We were chapter sorors. I had, again, no intention to be a mother, but almost like a little bit of a light flex. I had the disposable income. I'm doing well. I'm in New York City. All the cool girls are doing it. Literally, this was like the height of egg freezing parties and all that shit. So why not? I literally did it as a why not. At 34, I froze eggs. I ended up freezing 10 that were viable. We'll come back to that. Coming out of the pandemic, I'm turning 39, and a few things also happened in that pandemic. In addition to deciding what wasn't for me romantically, I realized that I didn't need, this is my story, a man to save me in some of the ways that I think I still had some fantasy around being saved. Okay, if we can talk very plainly. And I think I thought that I needed a man to position me around power, around wealth, around safety, and around security.
Was the feeling that being partnered, that being in a relationship with a man would help you attain those things, secure those things, maintain those things, all of that?
Certainly sustain, right? So I've always had confidence, right, in my ability. I've been practicing law since I was 23 years old. I'm a very educated woman, hardworking. So I never doubted my abilities as much as I had questions around the likelihood of a Black woman named Eboni from the South being able to sustain financially and, frankly, emotionally, in all the ways, the lifestyle and life I wanted for myself long term. So I never doubted whether I could get there. I think my insecurity was, could I stay there?
Ooh.
And so that's when I think that, again, I had some fantasy around some mythical man, some, man in my head, being the safety net, being an insurance policy, if you will, around making sure it sustains. And then, I'm big on the feelings test these days, Danielle. I'm big on, if it doesn't feel good, I'm so much better on not caring what it looks like. I only care what it feels like.
Oh, I love that.
Right, and that's really
liberating.
It's very liberating, and that is the only reason I was able to get to a decision around being a solo mom by choice, because we know what that looks like, and I know we're going to get into that and what society insists that it kind of looks like, right? But I don't give a shit about that anymore. Thank God. I only care about what it feels like. And then I started to really feel like I'm the man that I've been trying to wait to save me. It really was that for me. And that did so much for me, Danielle. It did so much for liberating me, but it also gave me a new way to pursue love, which I know we'll also get into in a minute.
One of the things to me that was so refreshing is that Liberty has liberated her mother, right?
She did. She reversed Uno'd me.
In so many ways,
she did.
Right? In so many ways. One of those ways being in your search for partnership, right? In your search for a partner. Now, you've talked quite a bit about dating, and you've been very honest about, your standards, you know, for better, for however folks respond to that child.
Sure.
But one thing that I, you know, that again, I think I personally found so refreshing and interesting is that you are now at a place in your life where you can date with a level of freedom that isn't restricted by a biological clock on the back of your head, or even looking for a partner who you know, looking for a partner through the lens of this person being a father, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you're not looking at this person's qualities as, you know, when it's not so significant that like, who can you be as a parent?
That's right.
It opens up a whole new world. So talk to me a little bit about what has it been like now to date as a single mom by choice?
It has been so much more fun, and it has been so much more, I just think feasible is the right word I want to use. Because like you said, I want to acknowledge that, you know, my romantic life, which some of has been public because I've chosen to share, has, you know, had challenges like anybody else's.
Right.
Part of my challenge was, and I'm so unapologetic about it, and remain so, is I am somebody who is not a fan of mediocrity in any capacity of my life.
I know that's right. Same.
Yeah, I'm just not. And you're not gonna make me feel a way about it.
That's right.
Bloop. You're just not, because excellence and operating at a constantly living in my ambition has served me quite well.
Right. Amen.
Okay, so and that's how I hold myself to a standard. So I am only going to look for any, and this is, I don't have no mediocre ass friends.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
You know, so this, because I really just believe in, you know, the power of proximity.
Absolutely.
You know,
and there's
I
no
really
space
do.
for it. There's no space for it in my life.
Yeah. Does not compute.
Yep.
So if that's the deal for my platonic relationships, it's absolutely going to be the requirement, the standard, whatever, for my romantic relationships.
Correct.
And then to your point, Danielle, adding the fatherhood piece, right? So this must now also be a man who I feel likely to be so aligned around the following: academic pursuits, healthcare and medical, emotional. Let's say, because you never know the child God will give you. Could have special needs. Could have gender curiosity. Could have sexual orientation curiosities. Whatever. Let's just start with the logistics. I work in a bi-coastal fashion. I have a syndicated daytime judge show, Equal Justice, with Judge Eboni K. Williams. Check your local listings. It tapes in Los Angeles. But I live and reside in New York City. If I have a project where I need to be here for a certain period of time, I don't want to be like the good sis Halle Berry and be in custody court fighting. I don't want to be like the good sis Jodie Turner-Smith fighting. These are the, and I should name my bias too. I practiced family law for several years early in my legal career. And so I can speak with authority
You saw
on how deeply, horribly contested those issues can be, and those challenges can be, and that's not hypothetical to me. I can't afford to be hypothetical about it. These are my circumstances, and these are likely my realities. And I'm gonna just go there and make some folks mad, because I am a high earner. It's very likely and possible that under certain circumstances with a father and a co-parent, I would end up paying child support for my own child. Again, as Halle Berry is showing us, as Mary J. Blige has shown us, as Sherry Shepherd has shown us. It's a real thing. And you don't have to even be famous to do it. Women are doing it every day these days because statistically, as you've named, Black women especially,
that's what I was going to say,
are earning above our male peers.
Absolutely.
Black women are owning homes at higher rates above our male peers. And I don't want to have to unalive nobody, Danielle. I don't want to have to no.
I'm not mad at you. I get no, but
that's
you're
just
right.
Jokes.
No, but that you're Right. Let's be clear.
Let's just jokes. The cameras are on.
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, in that, like, that is a very real possibility that Black women have to face, in that we are out earners. We are, we are the most educated demographic in the country.
Yes.
And
of all the races and all the genders.
Absolutely.
Yes. Say that.
And so we are high earners.
Yes.
And that is.
And those liabilities, those potential liabilities exist. So that was a part of my thinking.
Yeah.
This is a part of why this was my choice. You know, I'm walking y'all through all the ins and outs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I said, if there's science that allows, and again, point of privilege. 15 years ago, we wouldn't even be able to have this conversation.
Sure.
So thankful that it's even possible.
Yes.
If there's science that allows for me to potentially bifurcate my love life and my motherhood experience, let me avail myself to that. And let me also name a deficiency, because I know folks have been waiting on that. As joyous as my year has been with Baby Liberty, if I had to factor in responsibility around also being someone's good wife and or even being someone's good romantic partner, in addition to maintaining, house manager and trying to return to my own identity, I don't know how successful I would have been, Danielle. So really, that's a flex for you. And women, just receive this. Just receive.
Yes.
Women like yourself who do the wife role, the professional role, and the mother role all at the same time, that is a different standard of operation.
Right.
And I am not too proud to admit that I don't feel confident in my competence to have been able to execute all of those roles at the same time, which is why the bifurcation was a good choice for me.
Right. I first of all, I received that. It's, and I will admit that's difficult, right? To
That's how you
receive.
tense all up,
Yeah, because
child.
I'm like, ooh,
I know,
because I don't know that I'm doing.
But you got to hear
There's a
that.
level of self-awareness that you have in so many aspects that I don't even know that I had it. I think that I just thought that's just what you have to do, right? There isn't.
Well, what other option has been shown to us?
But that's why I love while you say choice.
Yes.
Because I don't know that I really felt that I even had that choice. It was like, you're gonna either you're going to be a wife and a mother and a professional, or you're not, right? You're not going to get any of those things. You'll be a professional.
Yeah, you'll be the success. You'll be the Oprah model. Right.
It's either or.
Yes.
And I think there are a lot of Black women that are like, I either get this choice or I get this choice.
You take the full package.
Right.
You take the all-inclusive.
Right.
Or you stay your ass at the house.
Exactly.
And what we're seeing now is that there's more a la carte.
More, absolutely.
That you can customize it and build it how you want.
Actually in Black women's best interest to customize it and build it how they want.
How you want.
How you want.
Yes. And there's some women who, this is why I say this single mother by choice thing is not for everybody, Danielle. I was very comfortable in my choice of bifurcation. But like, I have some close girlfriends who are considering it. They're in their either late 30s or early to mid 40s. And I don't recommend it for them. Let me tell you why. Because it's a real thing to sit in a prenatal doctor's appointment in a pregnant posture.
Right.
And be there by yourself.
Yeah.
And not have the wife or the husband or the they, whatever your situation is, holding your hand.
Yes.
Rubbing the belly.
Yes.
When you get home that night, making the salt bath for your feet.
Yes.
And I respect and deeply connect when I hear Black women tell me, that's how I want it.
Right.
That's how I want it. Yes, I want the baby. Yes, I want to be the teacher and the caretaker and the mother. But I also want my man.
Right. I want the partner.
Or my lady.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's real.
Yeah.
And I also will not stand in a posture of shame around that. You
That's
get
right.
that. That's how you want it, sis.
If that's what
you get that, and you deserve that, and you don't settle for anything less than that. Because matter of fact, here's the cautionary of that. This is very important. If that's really how you want it, and you have not done the work to grieve that setup, before you go on this single mother by choice thing, you are doing both yourself and your child a tremendous disservice. Because then that child, and I believe in the unborn child, receiving energy. And, I mean, it's proven, it's science.
Yes,
right. And no child deserves to be born in the midst of your deep grief.
Right.
Around a preferred version of your experience.
Or to sustain some level of resentment.
All of that.
Absolutely.
All
you're doing yourself, you're setting yourself and your child up for failure.
Yes.
100%.
And many of us are the result of that. Hello,
Absolutely.
somebody.
Come on.
We maybe didn't have the language or whatever, but
Yes.
if we think through some of our own origin stories,
Absolutely.
how many of our mothers were grieving either husbands that were insufficient or not there, or that they thought the man was going to stay until he decided he wasn't. Figure that out on the front end.
Yes.
And if that is really where your heart is, honor that.
Right.
But again, for me, who had just arrived at a very different place,
Right.
I was really able to sit in full celebration in my solo capacity, in those spaces, in those waiting rooms, in the delivery room. And this was really my fantasy, Danielle. This was my, if not fantasy, certainly preferred way to have this motherhood experience. And that's very important.
And I love that you got to live your fantasy. I love that came, your fairy tale.
My version of the fairy tale.
Your version of the fairy tale came true.
Yeah.
I want to lean into the title, single mother by choice, right? Because as we also talk about, okay, statistically we know that Black women are single. Culturally, single mom comes with a lot of baggage, right? In our culture, in Black 100%. Culture, there is a lot of tropes and trauma and and just assumptions, shame around single motherhood. So how do you feel about the title single mom by choice?
Yes.
And how are you reframing the understanding of what a Black single mother is?
Yes. I love the title, Danielle. This is a hot take in the community of those of us who parent alone.
Yes.
With intention. I love single mother by choice because I think the by choice piece is so congruent with the way I value this process. I acknowledge myself as an outlier.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is important, centering for this whole conversation, Danielle. I think anybody looking at me and Liberty and my story and feeling inspired by aspects or curious about other pieces of it, I think that is wonderful, and I invite it, and I'm more or less an open book about it.
Yeah.
But by no means am I saying come one, come all, and do it this way.
Yes.
I think that there are some things about my background, some things about my spiritual gifts, that position this to be the right choice for me, and I don't think it applies to most Black women. Now, so that's what I wanted to get to. So in the community of those of us that mother in solo capacity, most reject the label single mother by choice because they would say, this wasn't my choice.
Right. Okay.
They would say, no, I'm only a single mother with intention, many have said, or a solo mom, as some just prefer to call them. So they just leave it there. I'm just a solo mom. Because I wanted to have the man.
Right.
Even some that were married and got divorced, I wanted to get married again.
Yes.
And I wanted and still believe that the best scenario is a dual parent household. But because I, for whatever reason, didn't find the partner, didn't find the guy, I wasn't going to let that stand in the way.
I wasn't willing to give up.
Correct. Yes. I wasn't willing to abandon my dream of motherhood. So now I'm a single mother.
Yes.
But they don't want to be, I guess, they don't want to disrespect their authentic desire.
Right. Of the original intention. Or the original idea.
Correct. So I totally and deeply respect and understand fellow solo moms that reject the by choice piece because they're like, this is not my choice. I am different than them.
Yep. Yes.
In that again, I married the man, I divorced the man, I was engaged again, say, whoa, horses, because I feel like I'm going right back down down a path that's going to be unsuccessful long term.
Yes.
And it's one thing to do that when it's, just two consenting adults. I think it's an entirely different level of stakes involved when children who didn't ask to be here are involved.
Absolutely.
And that alone, Danielle, was enough to make me say, this ain't it with that last relationship. Again, wish you well, sir. And I am now going to go about the business of how I know I was intended to walk on this earth, which is in a solo capacity.
Yes.
With a romantic companion.
So what does that look like right now? I mean, are you dating actively?
I'm dating. Yeah, I'm dating.
Okay, tell me, give me the tea, sis. Like what does it, I mean, Liberty's still young, so it's not necessarily
she ain't that young.
Like,
she about to get Social Security. What you know about? Just kidding. You saw the video. She's crawling and walking in
She's
in
about
the
to
things.
She's about to be walking any day now.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in okay. And that's her way of being like, and who are you?
Yeah. And what you got on it?
What are the things that? What are right? Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you considering then? Like, what are you thinking about? Because even though you might not be looking. Even though you are not looking necessarily for another parent.
Right. How this man shows up in her life will matter.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So how does that impact
character?
How you date?
Character. So that's a good one because it also keeps me honest about who I'm letting in and out of my space.
Right.
I'm still human. I'm still a woman.
Sure.
So we know how sometimes, you have it set in your head, this is what it is, but then you see somebody, you're like, well,
right.
I mean, how important is honesty?
And that's also a thing you do when you're single, when you don't have kids, right?
That's what I'm
saying. You're willing to make
compromises and move the bar a little bit here and there. And Liberty keeps me very honest about that. Because now it's not, like you said, it's not about him being a father to her, but it's about him being in proximity to her, certainly, and that being enough. Right. Enough for me to hold the line.
Yes.
So again, luckily for me, my values are pretty consistent with what I want for her is what I want for me. Right? So again, that is integrity. Who you are when no one's looking, I need that to be the same as who you are when everybody's looking, sir. Especially in this Instagram social media era we live in.
That's right.
I need you to have cultural competency. Right? So it's no secret that, I have dated globally and across the identity spectrum. But at this point, I think it would be very difficult for me to date and even deeply connect with a man that doesn't have extraordinary competence as it relates to blackness.
Right.
Period.
Sure.
Period. And that probably will be in the version of a black man.
Yeah.
That is where I am centered right now.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a good man, Savannah. No.
Amen. A good man, Savannah.
A good man. That's good man,
Savannah.
Raggedy ass. I'm looking for a good man that can play with me, right? Be curious about the world with me. See some of this through Liberty's eyes with me, because you're going to come on the Disney cruise.
Okay.
And that's it. That I'd like to too.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Of course. Okay.
Is that the answer for you?
That is the answer, girl, and I love that.
How specific is that?
No, that's very. I appreciate the specificity.
That's it.
How have the dates been? Have you had good, bad,
What's
and the
the
ugly?
tea? Yeah.
What's the tea?
Okay, so the good news is I've not had any horrible dating experiences thus far. So I started dating when she got to 6 months because I did want to feel. And listen, I had been told this by other mothers, including you, if you're gonna wait to feel 100% yourself, you're gonna be waiting, right? So at some point, you kind of just got to get your toe in the water.
Yes, that's right.
So I have gone out on some dates, had some nice experiences. Okay. Here's another good thing about being the man that I was waiting to save me from the whatever. What's so lovely now, Danielle, in addition to being a mother in my own circumstances, I now have full and complete access to most any room I want to be in. Right. In the world, actually. And certainly in New York City. So while I have gone on dates, even that's off the table. I'm no longer dating for experiences. I'm dating purely for connection.
Oh, I love that.
And it doesn't matter if we're on the couch watching Netflix, or we're in the Michelin star restaurant, or we're in the Greek. now it's really the vibes. It's really the connection.
This sounds fun.
It is fun. That's what I'm telling you. It's been fun. So have I met Mr. Lifetime Companion yet? No.
Okay.
But I have gone on dates. I've gone on dates with the same man a few times.
Okay.
Because that's even a thing. Like,
Sure.
okay, a first date.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Is
But
there gonna
what's a second date?
Yes.
What is a third date like?
Yes.
I'm working with a fantastic dating coach.
Okay.
Y'all
okay.
can work it out in the comments. But he said to me, and it was funny, but it was true. He was like, "Girl, what's the last time you done a third date? Okay, we working with something now." And it was true.
Why a dating coach? What factored into your decision to work with a dating coach?
Sure. So it wasn't anything I was looking for. Then y'all didn't say, okay, once I have the baby, then I'm gonna get a dating coach.
Sure.
I came across this particular individual, and so much of what they were saying spoke specifically to the type of Black woman I am.
Okay.
Ambitious, successful, and really looking for love in ways that broke cultural and generational traumas before me. I want to love different. I want to love fuller.
Yes.
I want to love like in a totally elevated new way.
Right.
I have worked with matchmakers before because I get that question often, and I've talked about it. And I think a matchmaker could be great.
Sure.
The reality is, I didn't have a problem, and most women don't have problems meeting men.
Sure.
No disrespect to the matchmakers of the world.
Right.
My challenges were how I was dating. How was I showing up on these dates? And like a lot of Black women, especially the ambitious and powerful and successful ones, we understandably operate in a lot of masculine posture.
Sure.
And without going into the red pill of it all, because that's a bunch of bullshit.
Right. Masculine energy, feminine energy, whole.
But let's honor the fact that when you have not had anyone, often male or female, show up for you in your entire existence in ways that made you feel safe, in ways that made you feel that there was enough of anything, love, resources, protection, fill in the blank, you do embody that for yourself. And you are the protector and the provider and the nurturer and the caregiver. And all of that is lovely, but then it's really difficult to let someone do for you. In my case, I'll name my challenge. I have a hard time, I'm getting so much better, but I have historically, Danielle, had a hard time allowing folks to do for me without wondering what is the catch. When is the itemized bill going to come in?
When's that other shoe going to drop?
When's it going to drop? When do I owe you? When are you going to weaponize it against me? Right? And so my work with my dating coach has really been about releasing myself from the burden of showing and earning and proving. I'm not a gold digger because I have my JD and I make this much money and I have this show. All of that. Not even realizing it, but just wanting to show competence, wanting to prove my worth, wanting to show you I can match you, and and not in a competitive way, in a way that I don't want you to pity me.
Sure.
I don't want you to think that this is homeless to Harvard. I don't want you to think that this is, let me take the little Black girl from West Charlotte subsidized housing and show her the good life. I need you to know that I've worked hard to get to the good life. And now, with my coaching, I don't have to show you shit. I'm sure you motherfucking
you
thing.
Out here, you coaching us. You coaching me.
Well,
and
y'all can put some on the Cash App for the coaching. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is my offering to the world.
No, I'm having so much fun. Yeah. I want to touch a little bit on, what, again, culturally, what we carry as a community in the title single mom or baby mama, right? I think, there's a lot of weight there. There's a lot of baggage and trauma there, and even I think there is certainly the truth in what you're saying, and that there are women who are like, this wasn't my choice. This was my original intention,
and I would have preferred.
Intention was to be. I would have preferred to be partnered.
Yes.
And do you think some of that comes because of that baggage? Do you think there's maybe a little bit of that because of how we as a Black community think about baby mamas?
So let's run it back. For sure that. But let's also talk about how we got some of that shame. Can we talk about and this isn't even back enough, let's just start with the Reagan era.
Okay.
Yep. Let's just start with the welfare queen of it all. Let's just start with the literal public humiliation. cast upon Black women
Right.
of an entire generation. And
Yes.
again, of course, this happened, much earlier in our lived experience on this country, but we're 80s babies.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's just start with our
Yes,
lens,
right.
of this very curated, by design form of white supremacy. Can we
Right.
name it?
Okay. All right.
That is designed to shame, humiliate, and dehumanize Black women at our very essence. And unfortunately, like so many aspects of white supremacy, sometimes we take on that work.
Right.
Sometimes we become some of the worst perpetrators of the system designed against us. So then we have both Black men and Black women participating in a shame conversation
Yes.
that wags the finger
Yes.
at the young Black girl that gets pregnant and keeps the baby.
Right.
Or wags the finger at the middle-aged Black woman who maybe already has 2 kids but finds herself pregnant and now your baby mamaed again, so to speak, and I think it's very, 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 very sad because what we miss in that conversation is, number one, the fact that it is these Black women that became mothers who stayed. They stayed.
Right. Right.
For whatever the circumstance, they rolled up
Yes.
their sleeves and they got it done.
Yes. Yes.
And they raised entire generations that we
Yes.
stand upon their shoulders. That's number one.
That's right.
So how dare we shame these
How
women?
dare we?
But we do. We were talking in the green room before we started recording. I think it says a lot when Cardi B, going through a separation and divorce with her, I guess, estranged husband, now Offset, and the most visceral, violent, kind of derogatory thing he could call her and refer to her, I won. I made a baby mama out of you. Of all the things.
Right.
All the things. It's 2025. We got a lot of things we could be and
Right,
call folks.
right.
And we do.
Yeah.
That was the most horrific undermining of her success.
Yes.
Her status,
Right.
and her societal value, and he knew it.
And he knew it.
And he knew it, and everybody that heard it in that moment knew it.
Yes.
That is just how weaponizing the
Right.
term baby mama and single Black mama can be. And so much of my work, Danielle, and why I was so grateful to you and the publication to be able to tell so much more of my story beyond just the eggs and the embryos piece, and that's important.
Yes.
But let's get to like the psychology.
Yes.
Let's get to the
Yes.
emotional
Yes.
impact
Right.
of standing up in, shall we say, Trump's America,
Yeah.
God's America, but under the dictatorship of this thing, and say, I'm gonna raise my hand and I'm gonna be a Black single mother and I'm gonna stand in it. I'm not gonna let you shame me. I'm not gonna let you try to dehumanize me. I'm not gonna try to let you make me abba. No, because I don't represent a poverty story. I don't represent a story of regret or what's the word or the framing, like worse circumstances. This was my first choice. This was not plan B or C. Liberty and her conception, and I speak only for that, was my plan A. This was my preferred way to navigate motherhood for my child and for me.
I love. Oof, that just gave me chills. Like that just like you liberated other women watching this right now, other women listening to this right now. So I always take a little bit of a pause on pregnant pause.
Pregnant pause.
Right?
I
Take
see
a little
what
pause,
you did there,
all
Miss
right?
Danielle.
We take my little New York's gonna come out, my pause. We always take a little pause, and I just, what do you want the Black woman watching this who is trying to, whether she's deciding whether or not she wants to be a solo mom,
Sure.
whether she's thinking about how she is entering into her dating life or navigating her dating life.
Yeah.
What do you want her to take away from your story and your experience?
I want the Black woman listening to this conversation, Danielle, to take away the broadness of the freedom and the choice, and to do the thing you already do, Black woman listening to this. And I want you to know that you can apply it to motherhood and to your love life. Let me prove it to you. How many Black women do you know and I know that went to med school, went to law school, got their MBA, got, were career teachers, were
Yes.
educators,
Yes.
nurses,
Right.
social workers, and now they sell cupcakes. And now they write books.
Right.
Now they have business coaching workshops. As Black women, we're not foreign to choice. We're not that's bullshit. We're not afraid of going down a path, saying this path is cool, but let me look around the corner because something else might be greater for me. We do it in our professional lives all the time, you know, because I'm hearing you frame this, you know, beautiful story of courage and liberation and choice as it relates to single motherhood and liberty and my dating now. And I'm humbled by it. And then I realized, well, this was so easy for me to do at 23, right? I went to law school. I was also told big law, public interest, pick one.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
Work at the big law firm and make the big bags, or do good in the world,
right,
and be broke.
Right. Right.
Those were the choices, right? Hello, somebody. And now look at the buffet of opportunity. You know, and I early on rejected that. You know, I did the big law thing for a hot minute, and then I was a public defender and did that, and you know, had enjoyment there, but also some things that were lacking.
Right.
And so what did I do? I did the same thing that all the Black women listening to this podcast right now are probably doing in real time as we speak, curating their own package. They're saying, yes, I'm this, but I want to do this, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm doing this, and I'm here, there, and everywhere, and I'm doing real estate, and and we do it so brilliantly in our professional mechanism. I want us to just know that we can apply it in the same way, with the same tenacity, with the same unapology to how we mother and how we love.
Bars, as the kids say. Bars, dropped bars.
Yeah.
Eboni K. Williams, I cannot thank you enough for this conversation, for this wisdom, for this, you know, just the freedom and the choice. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.